Hello and welcome back to Horoscope TV.
It is so great to be here again.
It really is, and we have a fantastic session lined up today. I am very excited about this one.
Oh, me too. It is going to be intense.
Usually, we spend our time looking at the broad strokes, the general transits.
Sort of the global weather report for everyone.
Exactly, the weather report for the collective. But today, we are zooming in completely.
A dedicated look.
Yes, we are dedicating this entire analysis to the month ahead for one specific sign.
And it is a sign that really needs the attention right now.
Definitely. So if you were born under the sign of Virgo, or if you have a Virgo rising...
Or honestly, even if you just have a significant Virgo in your life.
Right. If you were trying to figure out why they are acting the way they are acting lately, you are going to want to hear this. We are looking at the astrological forecast for March 2026.
And let me tell you, looking at the charts, this isn't just any month.
No, it really isn't.
When we analyze the specific astrological data for March 2026, particularly for Virgo, the word that keeps coming to mind is monumental.
Monumental. That is a big word.
It is. It really seems to be flashing in neon lights across the star charts. The stars are essentially placing Virgo directly in the spotlight.
Which is interesting because Virgos don't always love the spotlight.
Exactly. They prefer to be the ones directing the spotlight onto the work or onto other people, but right now it is a time of incredibly high stakes for them personally.
High stakes usually implies high pressure, but hopefully high rewards too, right?
Absolutely. The potential for growth is massive.
Because looking at the planetary movements, this doesn't look like a quiet month of organizing the bookshelf or color-coding the calendar.
No, definitely not.
Which I know our Virgo listeners usually find quite soothing.
Far from it. This isn't a standard monthly update where we talk about a little bit of luck in the second week or a minor annoyance in the third.
We are dealing with major structural planetary shifts here.
We are. The headline event, without a doubt, is a lunar eclipse.
And not just any eclipse.
No. It is occurring in the sign of Virgo itself. That changes the entire texture of the month. It shifts the focus from the external world.
Like the logistics, the job, the errands.
Exactly. It shifts it away from all of that and forces it onto the internal world. And it does so in a very aggressive, unavoidable way.
Okay, let's unpack this immediately because lunar eclipse in your own sign sounds intense.
It is the definition of intense.
I want to ask you, the listener, to really prepare yourself for this. We are going to analyze the transits, the eclipses, and all the planetary movements to give you a clear roadmap.
A survival guide of sorts.
Right. But more than that, I think you should prepare for some serious aha moments this month.
There will be many of those.
We're seeing themes around identity, relationships, and career that are...
radical.
Yes, they are pretty radical.
They are. And our mission with this analysis is to cover the what. You know, the events you might see on the calendar, the dates to circle.
The practical stuff.
But also the why. Why is the universe putting this pressure on Virgo right now? What are the deeper psychological and karmic meanings here?
Because there is always a reason.
Always. Looking at the data, it looks like a mix of high-octane relationship energy and some very deep, perhaps uncomfortable internal restructuring.
Let's dive right into that headline event. Section 1. The March 3rd turning point.
The big one.
The lunar eclipse in Virgo. What is actually happening here astronomically and astrologically?
So astronomically on March 3rd, the moon is full, and it passes into the Earth's shadow. That is the physical event.
A light is literally blocked.
Exactly. But astrologically, a lunar eclipse is always a culmination. It is a climax point.
It brings things to a head.
Things that have been brewing for months, maybe even years. And when it happens in your sign...
in the first house.
Right, the first house of identity, it represents a shedding of a skin. Think of it as a major personal turning point.
Shedding a skin is such an evocative image. It sounds transformative, almost biological.
It feels very physical for a lot of people.
But does that imply it is painful? Usually when we shed things, there is a bit of friction involved.
Growth often involves friction. Yes. But this is specifically about identity. Think about the Virgo archetype for a second.
Mutable earth.
Yes. Virgos are the servers, the fixers, the editors of the zodiac.
They make things better.
They do. They are often so service-oriented, so focused on helping others or perfecting the systems around them that they can lose themselves in the function they provide.
Oh, that makes so much sense. They become the role they play.
Precisely. This eclipse forces the spotlight back on them, the individual. The data suggests this is a moment where a Virgo might look in the mirror and realize something profound.
Like what?
Like realizing the person I am projecting to the world isn't who I am anymore.
That is a huge realization. It is almost like waking up and realizing you were wearing a costume that just doesn't fit your body anymore.
It is exactly like that.
The forecast actually mentions the possibility of changing one's physical look. Are we talking about a new wardrobe? A drastic haircut? Is it that literal?
It can absolutely manifest physically. We often see people make radical changes to their appearance during an eclipse in their sign.
Because they want the outside to match the inside.
Exactly. They're trying to match their outside to their new inside. They might dye their hair a color they have never tried.
Or completely overhaul their clothing style.
Throw out half their closet. But deeper than the aesthetic, it is about letting go of an old identity that simply doesn't fit the soul anymore.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. Maybe you have been the reliable one for 10 years. You are the one everyone calls to fix the problem in the family or friend group.
The ultimate caretaker?
Right. Suddenly on March 3rd, under this eclipse energy, you decide you don't want to carry that mantle anymore.
You just drop it.
You realize you don't want to be the fixer. You want to be fixed for once, or you just want to be left alone to exist.
That is the psychological shift of finally putting one's own needs first. Which, let's be honest, can be really hard for a Virgo.
It goes against their grain.
They derive so much value and self-worth from being useful. It must feel dangerous to stop being the useful one.
It feels incredibly risky, yes. You start asking, well, if I am not helping, what is my value? But that is why an eclipse is necessary.
Because it forces the issue.
Eclipses bring sudden endings and new beginnings. They expedite the process. They simply do not give you a choice.
So it takes the decision out of your hands a bit.
Exactly. If a Virgo has been hesitating to set a boundary, the eclipse might just do it for them. You might find yourself saying no before you even realize you have said it.
The word just slips out.
Yes. The advice here is crucial for you to hear. Trust that whatever leaves your life now,
Whether it is a role you played.
or habit, or even a person, it is leaving to make space for something better.
That is that feeling of fated events we often hear about during eclipse season.
Yes, the hand of fate.
Like you just cannot fight the tide. You have to let it pull you.
Precisely. Resistance is futile during an eclipse window. It is much better to surrender to the change. If you feel the urge to reinvent yourself, ride that wave.
Even if it doesn't make logical sense right away.
Don't analyze it to death, which I know is a classic Virgo trait. They want a spreadsheet for their personal growth.
They really do. Pros and cons lists for an existential crisis.
Right. But for this, just let the change happen. Feel it rather than think it.
Okay, so while Virgos are having this massive internal identity restructuring on March 3rd, the universe decides to throw some really interesting energy into their relationships too.
It never rains, but it pours.
Let's move to section 2, relationship dynamics. Because looking at this chart, specifically the movement of Mars, there's a lot of heat.
Heat, passion, and conflict. It is a very volatile mix.
And this is largely driven by Mars, right?
Yes. Mars enters the sign of Pisces on March 2nd, literally the day before the eclipse.
And for the listeners trying to visualize the zodiac wheel, Pisces is directly opposite Virgo.
Correct. Pisces sits exactly 180 degrees from Virgo. It represents the partnership sector for them.
The 7th house.
Yes. So Mars, the planet of drive, action, aggression, and libido, is moving into the house of marriage and one-on-one connections.
Mars is the god of war in ancient mythology. Having the god of war setting up camp in your marriage house, that sounds, well, it sounds loud.
It is loud. It creates a massive surge of energy in relationships. It activates connections that might have gone dormant.
So wake things up.
Definitively. If things have been stagnant, say you and your partner have just been coexisting like roommates, but not really connecting, they will not be stagnant anymore.
There is a drive to resolve conflicts and clear the air.
Exactly. Mars wants action. It cannot tolerate sweeping things under the rug.
But clearing the air with Mars usually looks more like a shouting match than a polite scheduled discussion over tea.
It certainly can. The risk here is arguments and tension. And because we are talking about the Virgo-Pisces axis, we really have to look at the nature of those arguments.
The fundamental differences between those two signs.
Right. Virgo is detail-oriented, analytical, precise, grounded. Pisces is emotional, abstract, flowy water.
So they speak different languages.
Completely.
Yeah.
With Mars here, we see a potential trap, fighting over small details when the issue is actually much larger.
Oh, I can visualize that perfectly. The Virgo partner is mad that the dishwasher wasn't loaded efficiently.
The cups are in the wrong rack.
Right. Why did you put the bowls there? It makes no sense. But really, they are mad about something much bigger, like feeling emotionally unsupported.
Exactly. The patience for a partner's quirks is going to be incredibly thin.
Because the Virgo is already dealing with their own internal eclipse pressure from the day before.
You hit the nail on the head. Their nervous system is already maxed out. The Mars energy in Pisces is trying to get to the emotional truth of the relationship, but the Virgo instinct might be to nitpick the methodology.
So they critique how their partner is communicating instead of listening to what they are communicating.
Yes. It is a defense mechanism. The advice here is to channel that high-octane Mars energy into fun activities. Do something active together.
Burn off the steam, literally.
Go for a hike, take a dance class, do something physical. Mars needs a physical outlet. Don't sit around on the couch and stew in the irritation.
Now, there is a specific date here in the middle of the month that looks a little scary in the data. March 14th. The danger zone.
That is a very apt name for it.
Mars squares Lilith. We should probably define Lilith for the listener because that sounds intense and mysterious.
Yes, we definitely should. This is a heavy aspect. Lilith, or Black Moon Lilith, is a mathematical point in space related to the moon's orbit.
The lunar apogee, right?
Exactly the furthest point. Astrologically, Lilith represents the wild, suppressed, somewhat darker side of our nature.
The taboo stuff.
It is independence, but also vengeance, jealousy, and the part of us that absolutely refuses to be tamed or controlled.
So when Mars, the planet of aggression, squares Lilith, the point of hidden wildness.
It is like striking a match in a room full of gasoline fumes.
Yikes. So we are talking about deep-seated jealousies bubbling up to the surface.
Hidden resentments, old wounds resurfacing, things you thought you had forgiven, maybe something from 3 years ago might come back up with a vengeance on March 14th.
Just out of nowhere.
It will feel like it is out of nowhere, but it has been living in the shadows. The psychological impact here is significant. It is that profound feeling of, I am not being seen, or you betrayed me, even if the current trigger for that betrayal is minor.
So what is the remedy for you listening if you feel that bubbling up? What do? Do you just push it down and wait for the transit to pass?
No. Pushing it down is exactly what Lilith wants you to do so she can explode later and cause more damage.
It feeds the shadow.
The antidote is honest vulnerability. Lilith thrives in the shadows. If you keep a feeling secret, it gains power over you.
It becomes a monster in the closet.
Yes. If you are feeling jealous or resentful, you have to say it out loud. You have to put it on the table in the light of day.
But not in an accusatory way, right?
Right. In a vulnerable way. Instead of saying, you always do this, say, I feel really insecure when you do X.
Owning the feeling.
That diffuses the square completely. Secrecy will drive a wedge between you, but openness builds a bridge.
Choose openness and trust over paranoia. Got it. But thankfully, the month doesn't end on that sour, tense note regarding love. We have a reset coming.
A very necessary reset.
March 19th with a new moon in Pisces.
This is the beautiful counterbalance to all that mid-month drama. After the eclipse intensity and the Mars-Lilith clash, the new moon in Pisces is soft, romantic, and dreamy.
It sounds like a sigh of relief.
It is the perfect time for a reset in partnerships.
So if you survive the arguments of mid-March, this is the makeup period.
Ideally, yes. It is time to set fresh intentions for relationships.
What about for people who aren't in a relationship right now?
For the singles listening, this is the night to visualize. Pisces is the sign of manifestation and dreams.
So get out the journal.
Get out the journal,
No.
light a candle, and visualize the specific partner you want. Don't be vague.
And for couples.
The data strongly suggests planning a special date night around the 19th. Reconnect. Dream about the future together.
Leave the logistics behind.
Stop looking at the details of who takes out the trash or pays the light bill, and look at the big picture of where you are going together as a team.
I love that. Moving from the battlefield to the dreamscape. Now let's pivot to section 3. We talked about identity and relationships, but Virgos are deeply industrious people.
They're the workers of the zodiac.
We have to talk about the career and professional path. How does this massive eclipse impact the job?
Well, as we mentioned, the eclipse is in Virgo in the first house. That means it affects the entire life path.
It touches everything.
You cannot compartmentalize it. If you are changing your core identity, your career inevitably has to shift to match that new identity.
So we might see Virgos having the sudden realization that their current job just doesn't fit who they are becoming.
That is the big epiphany we are expecting in early March. It is that sudden, profound clarity of, I cannot do this anymore.
Which can be terrifying if you don't have a backup plan.
It is terrifying. But the urgency to change careers or radically shift one's attitude toward their current work will be palpable. It is about finally listening to the inner voice.
If a job feels suffocating, the eclipse will just make it feel completely unbearable.
You won't be able to ignore it anymore.
But even if they stay in the job, maybe they just tweak their role. The day-to-day dynamics are shifting regardless. We have Mars and Pisces, again, influencing collaboration.
Yes, and this is where it gets tricky at the office. Mars in the partnership sector means that for March 2026, working with others is the key to productivity.
You cannot just shut your office door and go it alone.
You cannot. You have to collaborate.
That sense of very large but coming.
But the clash of styles is absolutely inevitable. We go back to that Virgo perfectionism.
Right.
You have a Virgo who wants it done right, they want the formatting perfect, the data checked twice, and they are likely collaborating with people who have a much messier approach.
The throw it at the wall and see what sticks approach.
Exactly. And that is a nightmare for a stressed Virgo.
It really is. They will want to rewrite the entire report themselves at 2 in the morning.
They will. But the expert advice here is to focus on the big picture and the shared goals. If you get bogged down in correcting your colleagues' minor flaws, you will miss the opportunity for larger career growth.
And you have to pick your battles.
You really have to let go of the control freak tendency just a little bit this month. It will save your sanity.
Whatever you do, don't send that passive-aggressive email about font sizes to your team.
Please don't do it. Just wait. Wait until March 20th to send the important emails.
Yes, March 20th. Mercury direct, the green light.
This is huge for Virgo because Mercury is their ruling planet. It governs their entire energy system.
So when Mercury's retrograde or even just in its shadow period, Virgos feel it physically and mentally.
They feel sluggish, confused, blocked. But when it goes direct on March 20th, it is like the fog suddenly lifts. The details become crystal clear again.
So if you have contracts to sign or websites to launch or major deals to finalize,
wait for the 20th.
That is the pivot point.
Absolutely. The energy shifts dramatically from review and reflect to execute and sign.
And then we get a nice little boost at the very end of the month, too. March 30th with Venus in Taurus.
A lovely, stabilizing earth sign trine. Venus in Taurus favors specific industries for Virgo.
Which ones?
Teaching, publishing, and travel. It suggests professional world expansion and a readiness to grow.
It sounds like a grounding energy to end a very chaotic month.
It is the reward for surviving the eclipse.
Okay, let's talk about money. Section 4, the financial forecast. Is Virgo going to be rolling in cash this month, or are we eating ramen noodles?
It is quite a journey, actually, from luck to severe restriction.
Oh boy, let's start with the luck part.
We start with what we call a lucky phase. On March 6th, Venus enters Aries. Now, Aries represents the shared resources sector for Virgo.
The 8th house. So shared resources that isn't the money you earn directly from your paycheck. That is money that comes from other places.
Correct. This is spousal income bonuses, gifts, tax returns, or unexpected financial help from a business partner.
Passive income, too.
Yes, royalties, dividends. The setup is quite beneficial. It strongly indicates luck through others.
Nice.
If someone owes you money, March 6th through the middle of the month is the time to remind them and collect. It will be much easier to get it back now.
And what if you are the one needing money?
It is a phenomenal time for loan applications or writing grant proposals. The doors open easily.
So the beginning of the month is looking really good financially. But then the sun enters Aries on March 20th, joining Venus in that same house.
Yes. We move into the analytical phase. The spotlight turns harshly on to debts, taxes, and investments.
Less fun than unexpected bonuses.
True. But with the sun here, the drive is to dig deep into the realities of your financial picture. It really appeals to the Virgo nature of wanting to organize and categorize.
You might find yourself wanting to audit your own life.
Exactly. Pulling out all the receipts. It is a great time to meet with a financial advisor or do heavy research on long-term wealth growth.
But then the music stops. March 25th. You called this the cautionary phase.
This is critical. The sun conjuncts Saturn in the sky, a very serious conjunction that demands absolute conservatism.
Saturn is the planet of rules, restriction, and karma. So this is not the day to buy the lottery ticket.
Absolutely not. No gambling, no risky investments on this date.
Don't invest in that new startup your friend is pitching.
Say no to everything on March 25th. There is a high risk of a temporary restriction or a sudden heavy expense like a car breaking down or an unexpected bill.
So what is the strategy to handle that?
Tighten the belt. Stick strictly to the budget. And prioritize saving over spending to close out the month. Just lay low financially.
Got it. Circle March 25th in red ink. No spending.
Now let's move to something that is always top of mind for a Virgo. Section 5, Health and Wellness.
Health is a major priority this month. And again, we have to go back to the March 3rd eclipse to understand why.
Because it is in the first house of the physical body.
Yes. Eclipses are notoriously physically draining. They pull a lot of energy out of you. You will feel a heightened sensitivity to everything.
Light, sound, food. All of it. The body is going to be sending a very clear message.
And Virgos need to actually listen to it.
They do. The importance of listening to the body cannot be overstated right now. Resting when you are tired instead of pushing through with caffeine. Eating fresh food when you are hungry.
Simple, but hard to do when you are busy.
The risk here is real. The warning in the chart is that ignoring physical needs now could lead straight to burnout.
A complete system crash.
Exactly. And it is not just physical health. Mental health is on the docket, too.
Right. We have Mercury square Lilith on March 16th.
That is the specific mental health challenge of the month.
What does that look like in daily life?
Symptoms include highly anxious thoughts and mental loops that are incredibly hard to break.
Ruminating.
Yeah.
Replaying a conversation from 5 years ago.
Yes. Obsessing over a mistake you made. The mental energy gets trapped in a dark corner.
What are the therapeutic tools for that? How do you break the loop?
Mindfulness techniques are key, but specifically writing things down. Journaling is crucial during this transit to externalize the worry.
Get it out of your head and onto the paper.
Once you see it on paper, the Virgo analytical mind can look at it objectively and say, oh, that isn't rational.
That is a great tool. And then we talk about finding balance with the Mars in Pisces opposition.
Right. The drain. Mars opposing the sign of Virgo can feel like a slow, steady energy leak throughout the month.
Like your battery is just constantly at 20%.
Exactly. The motivation here is to use this feeling of depletion as a trigger to proactively find balance.
So scheduling rest like it is a meeting.
Yes. Activities like gentle yoga meditation, walking in nature near water if possible.
Since Pisces is a water sign.
Right. The core philosophy for Virgo this month is simply you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Fill your own cup first. Such an important reminder. Let's move into section 6, the cosmic details. Colors, numbers, dates. We always love giving you these practical anchors.
Let's start with the lucky elements. The color of the month for Virgo is navy. Specifically, if you are into design, color code hex 000080.
Very precise. I love that. What is the psychology of navy blue for this period?
It represents depth, seriousness, and authority. It is a grounding color that helps absorb the chaotic eclipse energy.
Wear navy to your important meetings. What about the lucky numbers?
The numbers to watch are 4, 13, 22, 31, 46, and 52.
Jot those down. And the best dates.
March 2nd, March 3rd, the eclipse day itself, and interestingly, March 25th.
Wait, March 25th. You just told us that was the terrifying Sun conjunct Saturn day where we shouldn't spend money.
I know it sounds like a contradiction. It is a day of financial caution, absolutely. But it is also a best date, generally, because it is phenomenal for discipline.
Oh, I see.
It is the first quarter moon in Cancer, so it is a fantastic day for establishing emotional security, setting firm boundaries, and getting serious work done.
Just don't go shopping while you do it.
Exactly. Now let's do the deep dive into compatibility. Who is Virgo vibing with this month? The best match for March 2026 is Scorpio.
Scorpio. Water and earth. Why is that the winning combo right now?
Because of the shared depth and capacity for transformation, the synergy is incredible. Scorpio provides the deep emotional strength and the unwavering support that Virgo needs to make those tough identity changes during the eclipse.
Scorpio's not afraid of the dark. They don't flinch when things get messy.
Exactly. And there are key transits that support this bond. Mars in Pisces on March 2nd creates a beautiful spiritual and physical connection between them.
A very deep, intuitive link.
Then when Jupiter goes direct on March 11th, it brings hope and expansion. And Scorpio is the sign that helps Virgo make that hope real and tangible.
And what about that intense day, March 25th?
That first quarter moon in Cancer creates a profound sense of emotional security and intense loyalty between Virgo and Scorpio. They act as a fortress for each other.
That sounds beautiful. But there is always a flip side. Who is the worst match this month? Who should Virgo maybe avoid collaborating with?
Sagittarius.
Fire and earth. Usually a tricky dynamic anyway.
Very tricky. Why? Because there is a fundamental clash between order, which is Virgo, and freedom, which is Sagittarius.
They just have entirely different agendas.
The friction point really sparks on March 9th when the moon is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius wants to run wild, be spontaneous, ignore the schedule.
And the Virgo needs care details and a plan.
It will drive the Virgo crazy. Then we hit a massive communication breakdown on March 20th when Mercury goes direct.
Virgo wants practical, grounded talk. Let's make a checklist.
Right. And Sagittarius just wants to joke around, philosophize, and frankly make empty promises they have no intention of keeping.
That is a major pet peeve for Virgo. Reliability is everything.
And the real blowout potential is on March 18th. Venus squares Jupiter. There is a huge risk of the Sagittarius acting recklessly or spending way too much money,
Leaving the Virgo to clean up the massive mess.
which they will resent deeply, so just keep some distance from fiery, chaotic energy this month.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up our analysis with Section 7, the psychological deep dive and the journey of Mercury.
Mercury's journey is always the baseline for Virgo. To recap, the ruling planet has been moving through some murky waters, but that March 20th shift is everything.
Mercury goes direct A&D, the Sun enters Aries on the exact same day.
It is a massive, energetic gear shift. The result is a sudden pivot to deep psychological matters, solving mysteries.
Playing detective.
Yes. The Virgo superpower emerges here. Understanding the hidden motives of others, you will have this incredible mental clarity and deep investigative skill to finally solve long-standing problems.
The fog is gone and you can see all the moving parts.
Exactly. You will figure out exactly what needs to be done.
This has been such a profound look at the month ahead. To close out, I want to leave you, the listener, with a final provocative thought to chew on.
What is your thought?
We talk so much about the eclipse shedding an old identity. The question you need to ask yourself is, if the eclipse on March 3rd removes an old identity, who is the person stepping into the vacuum?
That is the ultimate question. Nature abhors a vacuum. Something will fill it.
Exactly. You get to choose who that new person is.
And remember that the tension you feel in March, the exhaustion, the arguments, it is all simply the growing pains of that new version of the self.
It is all serving a purpose. Thank you so much for listening to the episode on Horoscope TV today.
It is a pleasure to break this down for you.
Make sure to subscribe so that you can get notified when the next episode is available. We are wishing you immense clarity and balance in the month of March 2026. See you next time.